Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Higher Source Tarot for a tarot and oracle card reading for all Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're going to jump right into it with the Yule Oracle from Seasons of the Witch. You have the energy of remembering. Oh, how thy glimpse glimmer in the darkest of sights, never forgotten, never still, yet pacing in the mind in the twilight of the night. So this is a time where you may find that you see the silver lining, the needle in the haystack. But I also would say with this, trust your intuition. When things get silent and still, it's in that stillness that you're right on the precipice of something great coming your way. All right, general intuitive reading today. And here we go. You've got the Hermit, the Ten of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Cups, the Ace of Cups. You're going to be loving all this watery energy. The Magician, the Page of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like your hard work is going to pay off. You have so many great cards here. There's something about this I really enjoy. I love the Magician in any reading, but interestingly enough, you've got the Magician, but then you also have the Hermit, which also represents know thyself. When you know yourself, you know the universe. So you're coming into a time of strength, of making moves, making things happen, bringing heaven to earth. Your spirituality matters. If you get caught up in the busyness of the holidays, make sure that you don't let your meditation game slip. Your spiritual practices disappear. You don't want that, because you know what happens? Then you end up kind of swinging on the other side of the pendulum and you go, oh my God, things were going so well. Then what happened? Well, it's oftentimes we get a little lax on the things that are important that maintain us. So with this, okay, and guess what? Got them back in place too. I'm excited. With this energy of the Hermit, this is a time of great wisdom. So you may have a lot of people who come to you for your advice, and you may be able to look at situations, assess them immediately, and know where the answers lie. And so this will be a very interesting time for you, because there may be times you watch certain things and you decide, I'm not going to participate in that. I'm going to be an observer here, because there's no gain in that, and it could lead to drama and issues. Now, with this Hermit energy, I feel like there's a depth in terms of the period that you're entering. There's a spirituality, yes, but there's something deeper here. This is a card of success, and there's an energy of, I guess it's just being free, where you're walking along, you're going it alone for some of you, if it's something to do with work-related or money-related issues. And you may find that you like some solitude, and it's not isolating. There's a difference between people who are isolating, they're miserable, and just enjoying your own company and wanting a bit of solitude. I myself am around, well over 700 people a day in the building where I work, and we're interacting at all throughout the day. I mean, it's a lot of people. And if you're in a situation, maybe you don't have that many people, but maybe if you're a therapist or somebody who has to have intimate conversations, this is necessary. It's not a negative thing. It's a balancing card. So the Ten of Pentacles, what I love about that is the Hermit gives you the stability to bring it on home. So the Ten of Pentacles comes in and it brings in money. Now, I may have switched this with the Ace of Cups now that I look at this, because I feel like we got on a run of yellow. But with a general intuitive reading, it's okay. The cards are not in a specific order. And sometimes I think when I do that, it's because there's a storyline that's emerging, and it just makes sense to pick up this next. Well, anyway, so you have money coming in. And with this, things are going to be in flow. Money is falling from the sky in this picture. But I do feel like your money aspects are going to be very solid. You have opportunities coming in, new offers, an optimistic future where money is concerned. This, of course, is the wealth card. So I feel like with this kind of energy, you don't miss. And I mentioned your advice is going to be wanted. You're going to have quite a few people looking at you, and it's even with money too. So overall, this is a very harmonious energy, people getting along well, kind of seeing the good in situations no matter what. Even if you're traveling and you have a little bit of a snag, let's call it, you have something that might be slightly delayed. I feel like in the delay is where you make a discovery. Okay, that's one of the best place of all. When we can find the gap, that's when we really find gold. So I feel like even if there's a delay in something, you're going to be A-okay. So you get into a nice watery run here. So I mentioned the ace might have come before these, but we're good the way it is. Because either way, it's that energy of water that you are just going to absolutely love. And so with the Knight of Cups, he comes in of service. In terms of a love story, you have somebody here who's going to be very romantic. I also feel like this person may have money, like they either own their own company or they're great with money and they've got money available. And I do feel like they may give you some nice gifts. I feel like you're going to have to be okay with that because it feels slightly uncomfortable, like you're not maybe used to that. Now, if you're with somebody already who's doing that, I feel like they can afford to do it. They want to do it. It's part of how they show their love language. And I don't feel like they need to be on the receiving end. It's just part of how they do things. And these may be small tokens of affection. They're well thought out. It may not be particularly that much in a monetary way as much as it's meaning. There's something quite meaningful behind it. So the Knight of Cups, this daydreamy energy, is also a time where you are the keeper of hidden and trusted secrets. So I feel like people around you are going to want to talk, okay? They're going to want to be very open with you. And you may have somebody who comes in to form a partnership or even alliance or an allegiance with you. And if it's on a bigger scale, like if it's in terms of a job and it's more on a corporate level where you're having an allegiance with another company, I do feel like it's going to work well. And I feel like you have a vision. If you do anything with real estate, if you flip houses, you own properties, I feel like it's going to be a nice beginning for you all. So with the energy of the Page of Cups, here's those coffee dates coming in. Here are the heart-eyed emojis and the texts that are going to keep you on your toes. Somebody here is quite masterful with the art of flirtation. And I feel like their texts are going to keep you interested, intrigued, where you're going to be wanting to check your phone. If you're anything like I am, I can go hours without checking my phone, especially when I'm at work. And so I feel like you might be changing that game up a little bit, where all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, have they texted? And it's like every time you just seem to hit gold. So with this Page of Cups, it is just a wonderful, charming energy coming in. And the Ace of Cups is going to have you wanting more. This is where the flow shows up. So it keeps giving. It's not just like it's once and done. There's more and more coming in. I do feel like this next, keep hearing sequel. I wanted to say season, but I do feel like it's going to have a beautiful, loving flow to it. The Ace of Cups is an energy of an opportunity, of an offer that is a perfect fit for you. So I feel like in terms of work and money, it just feels easy. You're not stressed, you're not burdened, you're not worried, you're making things happen. If you're chipping away at debt, I feel like this next part of the reading really makes a lot of sense. I also feel like you're going to see an increase in your bank account where it starts to get easier and easier to save. So the energy of the Magician comes in to tell you this is where you're making things happen. The Magician is a bit of a one-man show, and so is the Hermit. So there may be something, again, I keep coming back to this feeling of wanting to do things somewhat independently, wanting to go it alone on your ideas. And I feel like that will work just fine. I don't see this as a real heavy lifting energy where it's going to feel burdensome. I also feel like your creative juices are just bubbling and boiling. And so I feel like you're going to have quite an energy in terms of your own ability to create, and it makes it easier to do things by yourself. So with this energy of the Magician, your attention to detail, your focus, I feel like you're going to be in a place where, again, that's why it makes it easier to some extent to do it by yourself, because you're sharp in this energy. So I feel like with this, your ideas seem so easy for you to execute. There's no tripping you up. There's really no stopping you here. And with this Page of Pentacles, another page bringing in an offer, this can also be the lifelong student. So I feel like some of you may have an opportunity to learn a new skill, and you'll be quite good at it, and it will be very helpful for you. So if you are running some kind of business, or even if you're trying to update your home a little bit, you may find out how to take off those old plastic blinds, or how to upgrade some other areas where you're like, God, I never knew I could do tile. Don't ask me. I have no handiness whatsoever. I've tried and it's just not me. But with this Page of Pentacles, I just feel like you're going to have that enthusiasm and optimism, and you have the focus here. You've got it repeatedly. So the Eight of Pentacles shows you stacking up those coins. You're going to be making gains. I also feel like where love is concerned, it's going to be a committed, stable energy. You're both working for the greater good, wanting to get into a nice little path with each other, wanting to get in flow with each other, and it is reciprocal. All right, a couple more oracles. First one will be about money. Embrace this much deserved time of happiness. I'm not surprised to see that showing up. And we'll see what else for love here. Yes, you have the strength to take this on. So if there's something a little bit challenging, I don't see it as being a huge key player. They're telling you you've got what you need. So good things are coming. Cancer, I love you. I'll be back again soon.